Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite side characters from books I've read. I've been thinking about doing this idea for a while now, but I wanted to read enough books that I could accumulate a list of 10 of my favorites. I do normally like side characters more than I like the main characters of books, which is kind of weird, but I don't know, it's just the way I am. I always feel relatable to the side characters more. I guess I'm just not a main character person, you know? I think if I was in a book, I wouldn't be the main character. I would probably be the side character. But anyways, so yeah, today I'm going to go through my top 10 side characters that I think are awesome and deserve some recognition. So, starting off at number 10, we're going to rank them in order from 10 to 1, 10 being the lowest of the tier list, but still somebody I love, obviously, because they made it onto the list. So, anyways, number 10 will be George from Camp. George is just such a fun character. So, in this book, George is the main character's bunkmate at camp, and he's also kind of become his best friend over the years of them going to this camp together. And George just is true to himself, always being the sassy person he is and just living his life being awesome. And that's why I love George. The main character frequently goes to George, his friend, for advice or anything like that. And George is always really good at giving advice to the main character and just being there as a friend for him. And that's why I think George is awesome and I really like him. So, for any of you that don't know, camp is about a boy named Randy who goes to a camp, and it's a camp for all queer people. So, he's there and very excited to try and get with this guy named Hudson, who he's seen at this camp in previous years, but this year he's rebranding himself so that he can be the more masculine type for Hudson, since that is the type of guy that Hudson's into. And Randy is normally not that. So, he's trying to be different to see if Hudson will notice him and like him this year. This book is about a lot of self-discovery and truly just being yourself. And George was an instrumental character in this book, and I really liked him. So yeah. Coming in at number 9 is The Cruel Prince, and the character is Ghost. So The Cruel Prince is essentially a book about two girls who their parents are murdered by Fae, and they're brought into the world of Fae and brought up by the Fae. And so they kind of have to integrate themselves into this world and survive. And it's a lot harder for humans to survive in a world of Fae than if it is for the Fae to survive in their own worlds. So yeah, so it was a really interesting concept, and Ghost is a minor character that comes into this book that I enjoyed. Doesn't come into the book till about halfway, or probably a third into this book he comes into it. And he is it's hard for me to say these characters without giving anything away. But Ghost is a side character that frequently encounters the main character in this book, and they kind of have a little bit of a mentorship towards the main character. Not a lot, because they're not in it that much, but the fact that Ghost was not in this book that much and I liked them so much from the little tiny bits that I got of them means that they were a really cool character, and I really wanted to know more about Ghost. I still would like a full offshoot book in this world just about ghosts, because I think it would be fascinating to see how they got to where they are in this book. But yeah, Ghost is a pretty cool character. If you read this book, let me know if you like Ghost, because yeah, he's not that present in the book, but I just want to get your opinion on them. Number 8 is Ghost Girl from Sega, aka Isabel. So I will show you what she looks like here. This is the Ghost Girl. And she's kind of like a companion that travels along with the family in Sega. As you know, in Sega, it's about two different societies that are kind of against each other. And so there's this one and this one. And these two people fell in love, and their societies are totally against their races mixing or anything like that. And they ended up having a child together. And so now they're on the run from their own societies because they're trying to hunt them down, since they commingled and made a baby. And so the Ghost Girl kind of is part of this little ragtag group of people that are on the run. She becomes part of their little family, and I just like her because she's really a good character and always looking out for them and looking out for their best interests and looking out for the baby. I think it's so cool that she's a ghost babysitter that just hangs out with the family all the time. And yeah, she's a fun character that I really enjoyed. Another one, an honorable mention from this book, is Lion Cat, which is not part of this family, but actually with another character in this book, graphic novel. Lion Cat basically can tell you like anybody immediately when they're lying, so their partner will like refer to Lion Cat, being like, "Is this person telling the truth? Are they not telling the truth?" And Lion Cat will be able to help with interrogations and things like that. So yeah, I like Lion Cat. She's a really they. I don't know what gender Lion Cat is, but I think they're an awesome character as well. Number 7 is Nora from Red, White, and Royal Blue. I don't have a physical copy of this book, so I will show it here. This book is essentially about two boys who fall in love. And the thing with this one is it's more like an enemies to lovers because one of them is a prince and the other one is the son of a politician who is going for president. And so the two of them have been in the spotlight a lot and they have been in the spotlight as kind of like rivals because they don't really like each other, but then it kind of blossoms into a romance because they start to realize that they do have feelings for each other. And Nora is a side character in this book, and I really liked Nora because she was bisexual, so I related to her, and also she was just really super smart and always like trying to help out everybody around her. She also took no shits from anybody, and I love that attitude with Nora, so I was like, yes, go girl. I really wish Nora had her own offshoot novel because I would definitely read that. Even if it's just a novella, Casey McQuiston, you need to write that. But yeah, I think that'd be awesome. Coming in at number 6 is Newt from The Maze Runner. So The Maze Runner is essentially, it opens up with a boy that comes up this elevator into a maze. He has no recollection of how he got into that elevator. He has no recollection of anything prior to that elevator. He just is in this giant maze now, and he needs to figure out like how to get out of here. Now all these boys are in this maze together. They're in like this center area of the maze, and then it opens up every day and they send out people called runners to go like search through the maze and try and figure out how to get out of there. And so the main character is Thomas, but I prefer the side character of Newt. Newt is kind of like a peer advisor slash mentor to Thomas and helps him like figure out things about the maze, gives him information for anything that he needs, and just like is an overall like helper to Thomas. And Thomas would be nowhere without Newt, to be honest. So I think Newt was very essential for this book. I really like this series, and I strongly recommend you guys check it out. Coming in at number 5, we have Aiden from Illuminae. So the premise of Illuminae is that it is kind of like a space colony, but there's people out on this planet colonizing it, but they're not supposed to. They're kind of there against the law, and nobody knows they're there. So this other corporation sends in a ship to take them out and make it look like an accident, and then they kind of half escape from them, and it's them on the run on a spaceship from this other like corporation that's chasing them down. Now Aiden is an AI that is part of the ship that they're on in this book, and Aiden is like I don't know how to explain Aiden, but he's just it's like an AI that has like kind of has attitude but doesn't, and they're just so analytical about everything because they're an AI, so like it makes sense. But just like the way that Aiden and the main characters speak to each other is just so interesting, and Aiden's thought processes are fascinating. Like I love all the different like snippets you get of Aiden because this is a book told in mixed media format, so it's very like interesting how you get like these bits and pieces of Aiden and how he speaks, and it's really fascinating. I have heard that the audiobook for this is fantastic, so definitely check it out. I've recommended this book to a lot of people, and most people that I've read it have said they loved it, so you should definitely check out this series if you get a chance. Coming in at number 4 is Helene from An Ember in the Ashes. Helene is Elias's best friend, and they are in like this military institution together. So essentially in this book, there is like two different people. There's like rebels, and then there's, well, I guess there's like 3 different people. There's rebels, there is the main like common folk, and then there is the like military institution. And so in this book, it kind of follows like multiple perspectives. One of them is Laia, who starts out as a common folk, and then there is Elias, who is in like their military ranking system, and he's going through the schooling for military. So Helene is his best friend, and she's also in the military school with him. I love Helene because she always has Elias's best interests at heart. She's always trying to do like what is right for her and her family and Elias, but she's also such a badass character, and she's just like, you would not want to mess with her because she would mess you up. She is so cool. And I would love to have her as a friend because I know that like if I ever got in an altercation or anything like that, she would have my back like that. Like she would be there, no problem. She would probably be the prominent one in a battle compared to me because, yeah, Helene is just badass. So I really like her character, and I really liked her in this book. All right, we're getting down to the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is Ella from Gemina. So all of the books in the illuminae Files series are following different main characters. Now Ella is a side character in this one, and she is the cousin of the main character, but she is kind of like a computer whiz, and she is always working at her computer and helping them out a lot in different situations that they get to in this book. And because it's told in mixed media format, it's like cool that you get to see like her different interactions with everybody, and she's just so funny. She's like always swearing, and I'm like killing myself laughing watching all her like different things that she comes up with because she swears, but she also comes up with like funny metaphors and just things that are funny. And yeah, the way she interacts with her cousin and other people on here, even like the adults, is just hilarious. She kind of just says everything that's on her brain without a filter. And it's definitely really fun to read. And I think Ella adds a lot of personality to this book that brought it up in rankings for me. Coming in at number 2 is one that I know a lot of you have heard me talk about before, but that is Finnick from Catching Fire. So this is the Hunger Games series. This is the second book in a series. I don't know if I should say the synopsis of it because it's the second book in a series, but I feel like everybody has read this book. Anyways, so I'll give you the synopsis of the Hunger Games. Essentially, that one is where there's different districts, and the capital is like the one center district, and then there's 12 other districts. And so every year they do a thing called the Reaping, where they choose one boy and one girl from every district to go into this thing called the Hunger Games, where they fight to the death. Now, there's only one survivor of every Hunger Games, and that winner is given like victor's winnings, so like money and food and a home to sustain themselves and live on after the Hunger Games with their families. Now, this is the second book in the series. There's a character that comes into this book called Finnick O'Dare, and I love Finnick. Finnick primarily fights with like a trident. He's from District 4, which is like the fisherman, like fishing area. And yeah, Finnick's a heartthrob, first of all. But also he's just such a loyal person, and he is always looking out for other people before himself. And Finnick is just, my love for Finnick grows so much as the series goes on. He's such a good character, and he like really complements the main characters of this series. And yeah, if you've read this series, like, you know that Finnick is just like chef's kiss. And last but not least, coming in at number 1, we have Severo from Red Rising. Now, to give you a brief synopsis of this book, I tell everybody that it's like the Hunger Games set in space with like Roman gods. But in this book, there's a bunch of different color codes in society, and every like color has a different role in society. And so the reds are at the bottom, the golds are at the top. And so this book is about a red's journey to infiltrate the golds and kind of bring them down from within. So the way they do that is they have to go into the golds like school, and their school is where they're all like put into this kind of arena where they have to gain ground and like control different areas of the arena and basically come out on top. They do this arena so that the golds, like the higher up golds, will see these people as different competitors and how they can fit into like their military in like the actual world outside of their arena. And so it's a really interesting book. Severo is like the coolest side character ever. I love his growth throughout this book because when I started this book, I did not like Severo really at all. I thought he was kind of annoying. And then like as the book goes on, he becomes such a cool character. And I have no words. I just loved like how his character development and progression came about. It was just so fantastic. And anybody that's read this book, like you know Severo, he's such like a greaseball and such a creep, but like you just love him. And yeah, I this is my favorite book. I recommend this to like pretty much everybody, but yeah, if you have read this book, let me know and let me know what you think of Severo because like he's awesome. I just like finding other people that love Severo as well. And that's it for my list. Those are my top 10 side characters from books. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and you liked hearing about my favorite side characters, or if you want me to do another video on like main characters or anything like that. I thought I would just try this video because I've been thinking about it for a while and I thought it would be a lot of fun. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you have other favorite side characters from books because I'm always down to know what you guys think about books as well. So yeah. And now for our indie bookstore shout out of the day. Okay guys, so today's independent bookstore shout out is for Coho Books, which is in Campbell River, British Columbia. So this is their website, cohobooks.com, where they have all their new releases, hot off the presses, coming soon. They have a lot of stuff on the site that you can buy books, which is fantastic. They also have a puzzles and gifts section, which is really cool, where you can get bookmarks, beanbag chairs, art stuff, puzzles. They also have an area for cards and stationery, so you can buy cards, and they have a section for journals. They have a lot of stuff on their website, which is really cool. You could also get bargain books. So these are all books up to 80% off. So that is also fantastic. I definitely recommend you check their website out at cohobooks.com. Anyways, that's it for my video, guys. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.